Is that your own guitar, Captain? That is the. Do you have a grown-up's guitar or?
Forgive me, huh?
Good morning, friends. So it is a sea day, but as I mentioned in the last vlog, I have the behind the scenes tour today. They're going to be taking us around to different areas of the ship that guests don't normally get to see, explaining how, you know, the operations work, etc., etc. They haven't had these tours in a really long time, since the before times. So when I saw it pop up, I didn't hesitate to book it because it's something I've never done before. So anyway, that's going to happen in about 35 minutes. And then I think it's going to be about an hour long, maybe an hour and a half. And then after that, we'll see what we see and do what we do, I guess. It's a little bit early. I got up at 8 something, which for me is really early. So I may take a nap later. But anyway. Either way, we'll talk soon. So I made my way down to the Grand Foyer, which is where the Sheer Excursion office is adjacent to. They had me fill out my information on a sheet, and then they issued me this lanyard, and I turned in my waiver and all that. The first place we went was the main dining room, and they had one of the senior chefs come up and lead us through down to the galley and underbelly area of the ship. We got to see all the different workstations, and we learned kind of the rank and structure of how the chefs are situated, and it was pretty cool. This was the most extensive part of the tour because there were a lot of areas to see. We got to see how they prepare for the buffet and also the main dining room, etc. And then from there we went down into where they store all of the supplies on the ship, everything from beer to the food to the condiments, etc. And this included all the stuff for the specialty restaurants as well, which is all kind of prepared in the same place, which makes sense for efficiency. Although I do have a newfound appreciation for my wait staff at the main dining room because they have to walk pretty far for some of the stuff that we order. And then we went down to the incinerator, and the guy was like, "You want me to talk to them about trash?" And they did, and so he did. And then there was this model ship in the sort of landing area where we had to go through a security checkpoint, and that allowed us to have access to the engine control room, and we had a full presentation and everything there. The guy was kind of shy and awkward, but definitely put out good information, and we were allowed to ask questions and take as many pictures as we wanted and things like that. And then we got to go down into the crew areas where they have their bar and hangout space. We didn't get to go in anybody's cabin or anything, which is obviously good, but their crew bar and stuff is really nice, and the drinks are pretty cheap, but they're obviously there for months on end and deserve every reprieve that they can get. From there we went down into where they do the laundry and stuff. This was the lowest level that we went into the ship, and there's actually a full-on production going on down there. They showed us how they process the dry cleaning. They showed us how they wash and fold and iron the sheets. I was admittedly impressed, and then from there we got to go up to the navigational bridge, which to me was the piece de resistance of the whole tour. We got to talk to a lot of the officers, and they gave us information about what they do on board and how it all works. And the guy that stood out the most to me, or that I was the most sort of intrigued by, was the lookout, and he just sits in the front of the ship with a pair of binoculars and watches out for hazards and things ahead. It seemed really primitive to me, but they told us that that's really the most effective way, is to just put a guy there. That's his whole job, just to look for stuff in the water. And we got some information about some of the navigation equipment, got some free time to just walk around and look around. Captain Kirk came in at one point and tried to crash some of the presentations, and he brought all kinds of fun and silliness to the whole thing, which was a nice way to close things out. But then from there, it was time for lunch, so I made my way up to the buffet. They had a pasta bar in the back, so I got some pasta, and I also found some pad thai noodles and some other things, and so I prepared my plate and took a seat over by the window, and a bartender came and brought me a Bloody Mary, and that was awesome. From there, I went and enjoyed some live music in the Rendezvous Lounge again. The flautist and everything was in there doing her thing. And I stayed in there for quite a while having drinks and just kind of chilling before going to the theater because they had a headliner show. It was actually a comedy magician slash escape artist, whatever, and she was very, very good. I wasn't allowed to record, but I did take some photos and stuff of her act. Jessica Jane is her name, and she's on Instagram if you want more information about her. She has a pretty decent kind of like resume as far as magic is concerned. But I grabbed a Prosecco because I was feeling a little fancy and waited for the show to start. And then she did some stuff with cards and interacted with the audience. And then that led her into bringing Captain Kirk up to the stage to put on a straitjacket. He got it about halfway on before she was like, nah, I'll do it. And then she put it on and proceeded to Houdini-style escape from it, which was pretty impressive. It took her a couple of minutes, and it definitely looked at one point like she was really struggling, but before we knew it, she had it halfway off, and then once it was halfway off, the rest of it was just showmanship. And then from there, I decided to go out to the Martini Bar. That place was hopping and popping at that time of night. People definitely seem to love that bar, and I can see why. It's right off the atrium, so it's really easily accessible, and it's always like an exciting party going on there. And I had about an hour to kill before making my way over to the main dining room. They had a white party scheduled up on the pool deck, but the weather wasn't stable enough, so they moved it to the Constellation Lounge, which was fine by me. That's actually the nightclub on board. I think it's more of a lounge by day, nightclub by night sort of situation, but a lot of people were up there ready for the evening's festivities.
Tonight, we have live musicians on stage. He said, yeah, I want to play. I said, well, hold on. I said, we got bass, we got drums, we got keys, and we got vocals. I said, you need to bring something different. He said, can I bring my own guitar? And we said, yes you can. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one that he's being mocked right now. Give it up for your captain, our captain, the captain who rocks on the party, Captain Kirk. Hold on, is that the captain's? Is that your own guitar, Captain? That is the. Do you have a grown-up's guitar? Or?
They gave me that. For a guitar.
That's. It's his travel guitar. I got my first real city, falling down and climbing down. Every time my fingers bled, what's the song on 69? We had two guys from school, on the bed and we tried real hard. I took the queen, Johnny got married, I said you already know.
The main portion of the evening's festivities ended with a dance routine by the resident dancers. You could tell that it was originally planned for the pool deck and they had to modify it for the space that we were in, but it was still pretty watchable, still pretty good. And then from there, even though the formal activities were officially ended, they actually had the DJ take over and we were able to party up there into the wee hours of the morning. And then I finally decided it was time for bed. Alright, so I'm back to the room. I guess Celebrity doesn't do towel animals because I haven't gotten one, but that's okay. I do get chocolate on the pillow, though, so I'll take that for sure. But yeah, we have so much to talk about. Today ended up being a great day. I did the behind-the-scenes tour. It was super cool. Loved it. You guys have already seen and heard all about that and all that. The evening festivities were also super fun. At one point at the white party, or it's not called white party, it's called something else. But anyway, you're supposed to wear white and it's supposed to be on the pool deck. But because of weather, it got moved into the Constellation Lounge. And yeah, at one point the captain was up on stage jamming out to Sweet Home Alabama. People were asking for encores. It was super cool. One thing I'm really liking about Celebrity is that the staff and crew and officers and stuff are so approachable on this ship. Every night they have kind of like a cocktail hour in the Grand Foyer, which is the atrium on this ship. And like several of the officers show up and they'll just like chat with you and take pictures and all this stuff. And I think that's super cool. They go to some of the events and parties. The captain put on a straight jacket on stage at the magic show earlier. He was so not expecting to be called up like that, which is super funny. And yeah, man, I'm just Celebrity. They're doing things right. And there's just little things that has made this such a great experience so far. But anyway, so I ordered some room service right now. That's what I'm waiting for. I did have dinner, obviously, but I don't know. I got done with dancing and whatever, and I was like, I want a sandwich. So I ordered a sandwich to the room. There is a fee right now because it's after hours. $4.95 is the fee. The rest of the time, from what I understand, room service is included. But like for breakfast, I know it's just the continental stuff. Like you don't get the full breakfast menu. And then I don't think there's lunch outside of the all-day menu. But I know during dinner, you can order like whatever entrees they have at the main dining room that night to your room. So yeah, room service is definitely an option if you're interested in, you know, staying in for the evening. But yeah, so I may have mentioned this several times already, I probably have, but we were supposed to go to Belize on this trip. That was going to be our port tomorrow, but we're in Costa Maya now, which, you know, it's fine. But I had an excursion for Belize, and the Costa Maya, like, options weren't, like, there was nothing comparable, so I didn't book anything for Costa Maya. But I did book a submarine voyage, a glass bottom boat thing, in Cozumel. So I'm going to do that. But that excursion was quite a bit cheaper than the one that I originally booked. So now I have some onboard credit. That's why I'm not upset by a $4.95 fee. Also, I'm going to go to the spa, I think, tomorrow. I do plan to get off the ship and walk around. I was just in Costa Maya not too long ago, so we'll see how that goes. But I do want to go up to the spa because on sea days, sometimes they'll have specials. And since I have onboard credit, I may get a massage or some sort of treatment done. But we'll see how that goes. I get real, like, nervous at the spa for some reason. Every time I go up there, like, I feel, like, a lot of pressure. So I don't know why. It's just always been a thing. Anytime I'm going to the spa, I get a little nervous, so we'll see. Hopefully I'm courageous enough tomorrow to go up there and ask and see what's up. And yeah, so that's it. I want to thank you all for traveling with me. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all those fun things. We'll talk soon, and y'all have a good night.